Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching. Welcome back to the I Am Paradigm. This is your host, Trevor Evans, and today I'm going to talk to you about something that a lot of people are going to find unbelievable or crazy or downright delusional. And I would say that they are right if that individual thinks and believes that they are human. Now, as you know, I don't believe that we're human. I believe that we are spirit having a human experience. And so because of that, our true selves were not human. We are actually a spirit inhabiting a human body. And once we're done with this body, we will go back to the spirit. We're here to remember who we are and to remember where we came from. But a lot of us get stuck in where we are based on the bodies that we're in. So today, I'm going to talk to you about the past. You believe the past is something that is fixed in your life. You believe it's something that occurred and is affecting your life today. The past doesn't exist, and it doesn't exist in a physical sense, because when you think about the past, where is the past? Okay, for example, when you think of today or yesterday, when you think of 5 years ago, 5 weeks ago, 10 years ago, when you think of it, where is the past? It's in your head. And you're thinking about that past right now in consciousness. So that past exists today. However, when you think about that past, you're probably thinking about the past, let's say a bad thing that happened to you, whether you were hurt, whether you were abandoned, whether you were abused or whatever. When you think about that past, you're thinking about that past right now, okay? And so it exists right now. And what's happening metaphysically is you are entering the state that you are remembering about that past. So if you have a past memory of someone breaking up with you, or a past memory where you were humiliated, okay, when you remember that past event, you unconsciously also go into the state of that event. And because you're thinking about that past right now, the state that you're thinking about that past in is affecting you right now, which now carries forward your current future, or your future that you're going to run into. So if you know that the past is not real, if you know the past doesn't exist except in your mind, because again, we are all consciousness. There is no past, there is no future, there's only consciousness. And there are states of consciousness. So when you imagine a past experience that you didn't like, again, you're entering that past experience, remembering what it was, and then experiencing the state of that experience. And so because you're remembering it, you're imagining. When you imagine the past, when you imagine the future, you're imagining. There is a lot people don't understand to the brevity of there is only now. Your future is not created by your past, it's created by now. So if you experience something now that pulls you into a negative state, that negative state is going to bring more negative things to you. So you have to be aware of the power of now. So that's for another video, but back on this past shit. So, if your past doesn't really exist, if it exists now, and if you bring it to life now because of the state that you embody when you think of it, you know what that means? It means that you can rewrite the past to have a completely different future. Because in this 3D space, time only moves forward. But in the spiritual space, there is no time. Everything is now. So when you experience something that changes your emotional state, you're going to attract things that will match that state. And of course, time is not time in the sense of, hours. Time in a spiritual sense is a sequence of events. All right. One second here. Let me check into my place here. So time in a spiritual sense is a sequence of events, not necessarily an hour passing or 2 hours passing. It's a sequence of events or in between events. So when you have a bad thought about something and you maintain that thought, it's going to send out a vibration that's going to bring those bad things to you. And in between those things happening, that's what time really is. So again, back to this. So, because your past doesn't exist, you can rewrite it. For example, if you think of an experience that you endured that you didn't like, you're thinking about it in consciousness. And here's what you don't realize you can do because of what you have. You have what's called free will. And that free will is, if I can think of a past event that was unpleasant, can I change it? And the answer is yes, you can. And why can you? Because it's happening now. When you imagine that past experience, whether it was 10 years ago, you're imagining it now. So whatever happened 10 years ago, get what you can do. You can change the experience now. And through the linear, and because you change your experience, you're changing the state that you experience. So if something happened, and I've done this. So if you've experienced a loss or an unpleasant whatever, think about that experience and change it from what did happen to what you wanted to happen. And when you do that, you're not changing the event per se, what you're changing is a state that you remember it from. And because you're changing your state now, that state has to move forward in linear time to meet you. Now I know there's some of you on here that are saying this motherfucker's crazy. This dude is like he is delusional. And as I told you before the video, if you think of your life from a human standpoint, then yes, I am crazy. And that's okay. Because how many things that were taught to us and said to us by metaphysicians, years ago, they thought they were crazy. Now they're like, oh my God, that shit's real because of quantum physics. So this may not be for you, but it's for someone that believes in what I believe, and I do believe that this video will reach you. So, if you're a Neville fan, he speaks of this phenomenon called revision, where you imagine an experience that you had that you didn't want or didn't like, and you revise that experience. Say you got a letter in the mail that said you owed a bill or you were overdue for a bill. When you open that letter, it puts you in a state of lack, a state of loss, a state of not having. So what do? We change the experience. We go back in our minds, think about that experience, and we see the bill says paid in full. You owe us nothing. And you feel that. When you do that, that is the experience you had. And because you changed your state and you believe in that change, that experience must meet you. It must meet you through all the different bridges of incidents that will happen to create that scene that you imagined in the now. So you can change the past to affect your present, because all we are human or are spiritual beings having a human experience through states. What are those states? Happiness, joy, sadness, loss, fear, depression, love. Those are all states. And so when we're having these experiences, it's not the experience that's causing the trouble or the good in our life. It's the state that we sink into or rise to. If someone breaks up with you or someone insults you, right? The insult meant nothing. But the state it puts you in, that's what creates more and more of the bad things to follow. So you have to be aware of the state that you're in at all times. But again, back to this damn revising shit, which is not shit, it's the real deal. I thought I've done it, and I always do it. So you think of an experience that didn't go your way or that happened that you didn't like, and you go into your mind, which is consciousness, which is now, and you change the experience, which you change the state, and so that experience is happening now. You've all read books where the books have said, oh, the mind doesn't know the difference between the future, the past, the present, the real, the fake. All it knows is what it feels. So what I do every day, or every night rather, or any chance I get, but at least every night, is I revise my day. But before I go to sleep, I think about my day, and I go from the start of the day to the end of the day, and I revise everything that happened that I didn't like. I revise everything that happened that affected my mood in a negative way, and I change it. Whether I got a bad email, I got a bad a piece of mail, a bad conversation, Doesn't matter. If it altered my mood to a negative state, I change it. And that's my nightly revision. And I have faith and belief that I'm going to run into those things. And it does happen. I've had bills that were ones past due that I revised to pay it in full, and it happened. The money that I needed showed up, and that experience I imagined changed or happened. So you can rewrite your future, rewrite your past. That will change your future, change your present, because your past, your future, it's all happening now. And if you can look past the woo-woo bullshit that people want you to focus on and look at the metaphysical laws that I'm talking about, if everything is now, it doesn't matter if you have an experience from 20 years ago. When you think about that experience from 20 years ago, it's happening when? It's happening right now, 20 years later in your consciousness. And if you still carry the same negative state from 20 years ago, you will continue to receive the same negative consequences that began 20 years ago. So go into your mind and revise anything that you don't like, that you can remember, and literally rewrite your present, rewrite your future. This stuff is not easy to comprehend unless it's your time to. I believe in that, okay? I believe that not everyone is in their time to hear this type of teaching about themselves and about who they are. But I know that whoever's time it is, if it is your time and this is your belief, this video will find you and it will resonate with you. I've revised even the start of this channel. This is like my 7th video. I've already revised what I see on my channel, where I used to have 0 views and 0 comments and 0 subscriptions. I changed that. I revised that. I got over millions of views and thousands of subscribers and hundreds of comments. I revised that and changed my mood, and so it will show up. So, as everyone always says on these channels, if you like it, even if you don't fucking like it, I give a fuck. If you don't like it, tell me you don't like it. Comment, do something, okay? But if you do like it, if you like what you heard, don't just like it, share and subscribe, but actually apply it. Prove to me that it doesn't work. Just every night, start revising your day or revising events, and keep doing that every night, every day, and watch those events that were quote unquote negative change. Watch your future change. Watch your present change. So again, till next time, this is Trevor Evans with the I Am Paradigm channel. Again, like, share, and subscribe, and go rewrite your past. Till next time.